And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Friday, May 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. We welcome you on a Friday. A little bit of rain is already falling. Going to get more, I guess, but we're going to make a fantastic Friday of it. We're going to start off this morning talking about Wilson Bank and Trust, and DJ Woods is here. DJ, good morning to you. I'm doing well, and we're glad to have you here today. You tell us you work at the main office there on West Main Street.
That's right, yes, sir.
And you are a loan officer.
Yes, sir.
We'll tell you, you've been here at least once before.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, though, because you haven't been here enough times for me to remember that much about you. And if I don't imagine our audience does. You no doubt have made a lot of friends while you've been there. But tell us a little bit about your background, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm born and raised from Gallatin, Tennessee. I graduated there and went and played ball over here at Cumberland back when they were the Bulldogs.
Baseball?
Football, actually.
Football. Okay, football. What position?
Wide receiver.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So I graduated there. Had a couple jobs out of college and landed a position here at Wilson Bank and kind of worked my way through every department the bank has and was able to become a loan officer and land a position at the main office. And just like you said, I've built a lot of relationships here at the main office, and a lot of folks think that I am from Legardo, which there's a lot of woods. I take it from the Legardo area, but my neck of the woods, no pun intended, is from the Gallatin, Hendersonville, Portland area.
Yeah. Well, what is it about banking that maybe attracted you, and now that you've continued that you like?
It is ever changing. That and the fact that I get a kind of a broad spectrum of all the people that I'm able to help. So what I did before this was, no offense to the insurance industry, but I sold insurance, basically retirement type policies. So only dealt with really one type of a person, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it was door to door. So a lot harder, from that aspect, as opposed to Wilson Bank has built a brand. I'm able to kind of follow that brand and just take my own little twist, my personality behind that, and meet with a lot of different folks in the area.
Any particular kind of loans you specialize in?
Yes, so consumer loans. So anything dealing with the personal consumer, auto loans, home loans, construction lending, land, pretty much anything. I've got my hand on it.
Well, how have things been the last couple of months? It's been different, no doubt, and different in the fact that you haven't had people sitting across the desk from you in the office. Not much, I don't think. But other than that, there's I guess you've been making loans.
We have, and a lot different than when I originally started lending. Kind of a new era, if you will, where we're encouraging as many people as we can to go online, use our website to apply for any type of loan that you're considering. Or just submit a question, and we'll have someone follow it with you. Still get that same Wilson Bank and Trust feel, same customer service. Well, someone's going to reach out to you within a certain time frame to make sure you're getting your questions answered.
We hear all the time about loans having such attractive rates, and there are, of course, somebody with if their credit is not super. That may cost them a little bit more because of that. I guess that all's factored in, isn't it?
That is, yes, sir. So as many folks know, we don't have a typical cookie cutter rate. It does vary from person to person, and we try to appease to everyone that walks through the doors, or at this point in time that calls in.
Well, sometimes you may have to improvise a little bit too. Maybe you can't give them exactly what they want, but you can come up with something that's nearly as good, and it will take care of the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we're not one just to turn your way immediately. Biggest thing our job is to do is try to find a way to get it done. It's not atypical type loans that many people may not be aware of, but we do try to find a way to get it done.
Yeah, and that billboard out there does say we say yes more often.
That's right, yes, sir.
so you're no doubt trying to live up to that. But every once in a while, I guess you don't find a way, and you have to say no. But I'll bet when you do, you make a recommendation. We'll clean your credit up a little bit, or do this, or whatever, and then come back and we'll see if we can't do it.
That's right. I think a lot of my return customers may not have been actual loans that I complete on the front end. It is just instructions and ways to help help them improve their credit or whatever it needs to be to get them approved for a loan down the road. So it's more of just kind of that customer service that most folks are used to. It's just, kind of teaching them and informing them on ways to become creditworthy.
Anything in particular people really are borrowing money for right now? Boats or cars, or that is one thing stands out with you right now?
I think that everyone at the bank would agree the Paycheck Protection Program loan through the SBA was the big one here recently. So we've had teams working around the clock to service just about every single customer that we've had that's applied. So that's been the forefront, and really not much outside of that. A few auto loans. I think a lot of folks got the stimulus check.
Yeah.
So some folks have come in for that, and not as broad a spectrum. Normally we just finished up a big construction expo in February, so that's still kind of trickling out. Probably not as heavy as it's been in years past.
Well, we are certainly glad to have had you with us today, DJ Woods, consumer loans and consumer lender. You are at the main branch, Wilson Bank and Trust, and we appreciate having you this morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we always close by reminding you it's Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here. They're still independent, still committed to you. Middle Tennessee's community bank. DJ, thank you much.
Thank you.
We are 10 minutes after the hour, and it is Friday. That means it is time for our Friday Senate report, and here he is, Senator Mark Bodie.
Good morning, Coleman. It's great to be here today.
Good morning. It's great to have you. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. So just so that people know that I just got a lesson in how to do tomatoes today. Coleman was sitting there telling me he's planted out, a bunch of his tomatoes in his garden. And he just taught me how I can actually put the suckers from my tomato plants and get some more tomatoes. So I learned something from Coleman again today.
All right. Well, you get my age, you're supposed to know a few things, right?
well, Coleman, you taught me something. I got to try that this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you have some tomatoes?
I do. So I will tell you, I put some out, and I did it early, and so they were growing inside the house. Then I put them out, and one time, it was about a week or so ago, I didn't bring them in fast enough. I didn't think it was going to get that cold, and I lost some of them to frost. So I know it's going to be cold tonight, and I'm going to bring everything I have back in the house. That does not make my wife happy when I bring them back in the house. I do the best I can, or I'm just going to try and cover what I can.
Yeah. Well, we all need to be warned because I think it's going to rain today, and then I don't know whether it's going to clear off how soon, but there'll probably either be frost or freezing. Some places it's a frost warning, others is a actual freeze warning, which means I guess 32 or below.
Yes.
And so we've got to be on our mind our P's and Q's here tonight and tomorrow night.
That's exactly right. Now, will tell you, though, I planted a lot of flowers for my wife. So as long as I bring the flowers in and the tomatoes, she'll be all right.
Got a solution there.
Yes.
Well, we're still seeing some relaxation of the requirements that we've had regarding corona.
The virus, yes.
Coronavirus, yes, and I guess a few more people maybe are going to work. A few more people are allowed to do some things they weren't before.
That's exactly right. So today, if you want to go bowling, you can go bowling. Bowling alleys are open. We've got mini golf places that are going to be opening up today. Hair salons, barbershops opened up on Wednesday. I still have to get in to get an appointment, but they were all slammed everywhere. They're just, right now, everybody's trying to get in. You have to do it by appointment only. So non-contact recreational businesses are opening up. In fact, we just heard that Nashville is going to start opening up some of their things as well, and that's going to be a really good sign for Davidson County because they are hurting financially. I heard that they're going to do a 32% property tax increase this year, which is, that's huge. That is huge. But dentists opened up, and they were supposed to open up last Friday. It was delayed till this Wednesday, and I was actually on a conference call. We had several dentists in the office. And listening, there was over almost 2 hours that the conference call went on, but they are going to be opened up, and so dentists, you can go get your teeth done as well. I'm glad to see that some of the things are happening. Good news. In fact, we just got the report in for unemployment, and this is the lowest number of unemployment claims that we've had turned in like the last 7-8 weeks. In fact, it was only And I say only, it was 37,000 last week that were turned in. But that is the lowest number that we've had, so that's a good sign as well. People are starting to go back to work. In fact, I even seen a little bit of traffic. Debbie is back at work, and she was telling me there was a little bit of traffic on the road going into Nashville, so that was good as well.
Let me ask you about your conference call. What were some of their concerns? Were they pretty upset that it had to be closed this long, or were they more concerned about what is required when they do open up? I just wonder what all the dialogue was like.
Sure. So we had almost two sides, okay? And hygienists, a lot of them were very concerned that they're saying, look, we're working, and if we're working on somebody that potentially would have the virus, could be brought onto them. And when we're talking close contact, they're working on somebody's mouth. And, some felt that they wanted the N95 masks. Others felt that, maybe that just a regular mask would work, and how we could do it, how we could clean the rooms on a regular basis and such. Dentists were saying, hey, look, the governor said we could open. They called all their people, that needed appointments and said, come on in. And then the governor closed up and said, well, we're not going to do it. And that was very frustrating for the dentist to say, wait a minute, we just invested getting everything ready, hiring people back, getting them on here. And then when we have people all scheduled, we had to call them in. And then we had to go back and hire more people to call them all back and say, don't come in. And that was very frustrating for dentists. And they said, you can't keep doing that to business. Make a decision, move forward, and go from there. So I think that everybody's in a good spot right now. They've adopted the American Dental Association rules, and that's what they're going to be going by. Now, I will tell you, some of the dentists are saying as well, they say, we got to buy extra masks, we got to do a whole lot more, but our reimbursement rates aren't going to be going up either. So almost for just regular cleanings, a lot of them are saying, we will literally be losing money just doing cleanings with all the extra supplies that we've got to do and all these procedures that we've got to follow.
Wow.
And that's not just dentists. It's a lot of businesses. You take a restaurant. If they're doing, their schedule, they buy their real estate, they buy everything that they need to and such, and design their restaurant to try and make a profit. But it's hard to do that when you're only allowed to open at 50%. And so if they're already, it's almost like saying, well, we can go back to be open, but it's a schedule for us to lose money. And it's hard. You want to stay open and lose money, because if you could have made it at 50%, they would have done that earlier. They would have, built that. They can't keep going at 50%. They've got to be able to get open in such a way that they can be profitable, or they will be going out of business.
All right, when you go to right before we do, how long is this going to stay at 50%? Do you have any clue? And I know that.
Yes, and I'll tell you that after we're done with break.
Well, all right, let's do that. A break right here. You're listening to our Friday Senate Report here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the regular oil change. They dropped the price. It's $24.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. Plus, they'll pick up and bring your vehicle back to you absolutely free. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Give yourself extra travel time out here just to be on the safe side. The weather not helping rush hour traffic, that's for sure. As I finish this break here on 40 eastbound, it's right near the 24 split before you get up to Fessler's. 65 northbound ramp at Wedgwood on that accident. Starting to build up through Williamson County on 65 as you come through Brentwood right now. Princess Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. Check it out at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
Coleman Company, we thank you for joining us, and thanks to Senator Mark Pody for showing up every Friday, our Friday Senate Report. Okay, I was asking you about barbershops, beauty shops, and they open Wednesday. What about their requirements, they're going to be able to make money? Dentists and restaurants are having a problem.
That's exactly right. So the next step, I think, is going to be saying they can start opening up at 75%, and then they'll be going to 100%. The numbers the governor's watching and his team, as well as all the legislators, what are they looking like? Are we actually going to be having a whole lot more virus in Tennessee? Is it spreading? Are we containing it? And specifically what the death rate is. It's not just how many people have it. It is the outcomes that's more important. And so far, we're doing a whole lot more testing, but we're not finding that it's spreading that much. So I think we're doing a really good job in controlling it. It is spreading a little bit. I think if we look at our numbers, for every 10 people that have it, there are 12 people. So it's like a 1.2%. So it is growing, but it is not growing where, it used to be some of the states it was like for every 10 people, they were infecting 30. So the numbers are not that bad in Tennessee. It's still going, but it's in the outcome, the people that are actually passing away, we've not lost as many people as so many other states have. In fact, we're one of the leading states in the nation for the numbers that we're watching. We're doing really good. So I think these are the numbers the governor's going to say we can start opening up more.
Well, I know that people who are in business, you're in business to make money. If you are really a good business person, I think you really care about your employees and their welfare too. In some of these situations, there's obviously nothing can do but lay them off. And that's sad. Of course, we do have unemployment, and hopefully that's not going to run out in Tennessee anyway.
That's exactly right. And Tennessee is one of the best states in the nation. But I will tell you, Coleman, on more of a downside, we're getting the numbers in, looking at our numbers for the budget. Now, we're going back into session. In fact, I'll be back in committee on May 26th. So that's when we're going to actually start. Then session will be starting that following Monday on June 1st. And it looks like we're going to have to readjust our budget. We don't have firm numbers yet. We're just kind of still getting preliminary numbers. But I'm going to say we are like literally hundreds of millions of dollars short. We have to make cuts. This budget, we have to make cuts. Now, we got the rainy day fund, and it's raining. This is the time that we are so glad that we put it aside. But even with this, we did not anticipate as bad of a reduction as what we're looking for. So I'm going to be saying that we're going to even have to look at, we said we're going to give $100 million to the cities next year, $100 million to the counties. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. They were promising raises to state employees and such. I don't know if the money's going to be there to actually fulfill those promises, even with our rainy day fund. If you don't have the money, you can't give money away you don't have. I know that the cities and counties are they're looking forward to that money. Now we voted on it, but it wouldn't go into effect till July 1st, and I think we're going to have to reconsider some of the actions that we made. I think we're going to have to make some more cuts just to be able to get by.
What's going on with our hospitals? Even they've had to change the way they've operated, and elective surgery or scheduled surgery, I think is a better way to say that, were put on hold, and we know that some of them were not busy because those who did elective surgery, that's put off. And maybe in some places, some of the hospitals may have had to lay off some personnel and this sort of thing. At the same time, we've got the rural areas who are crying for hospitals and for help. And I guess in this situation, some of that has been put kind of on the back burner. Hadn't been at the forefront of your mind, I wouldn't think. But still, it's a problem that needs to be addressed, Senator.
Sure. So right now, as of today, or actually as of yesterday, we've only got 329 people in the hospital in the entire state for this virus. 329. But they shut out all of the non-emergency services and such. So the hospitals are empty. There's nobody in there. Now, they just opened up some of the non-emergency services. But when we heard this, we thought, and we had heard, oh, the hospitals are going to be overrun. Every bed's going to be used. They're going to have to make makeshift hospitals because we don't have enough beds. But we'd
even made some provisions for other places to be used for this sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they were talking about the Music City Center. We were investing money to make that into hospital. It just hasn't come true. It hasn't been the big bad wolf that people were thinking it was. And I think a lot of that would be national media. They like to be saying, hey, this big number's coming, it's going to hurt and such, but it just has not panned out to be as bad as what they thought. Doesn't mean it wasn't real, okay? I mean, there is a real virus. We do have 329 people in the hospital. We have had about 230 some people have passed away from this. So it is serious. It is here, but it is not what they had told us it was going to be. You know, at one time, one of the biggest reports that they had, they said there was going to be 130 some thousand deaths in Tennessee. Right now, every year, we have 71,000 people die in Tennessee. And they said this is going to be almost twice as many people that are going to die. It just has not panned out. But we didn't know, so you have to make plans as if this is really going to happen. But now that we know it's not true, and we've got to get back to reality, back to work, and let things go. Now, if you are somebody that is compromised in your health at all, if you're in an age that you are, in your mid-60s and older, you've got to be a little bit more cautious. If I was going to be somebody that I had some underlying health issues, I would be wearing a mask. I'm just telling you I would. But it doesn't mean that those that aren't, that's not going to be something that they have to. Right now the governor is giving away masks. If you want a mask, you can go down to the health department and get a mask. He's ordered 5 million masks, and they've already been being passed out, and all the health departments have them. As soon as they run out, we're going to be getting more for them. So we want to make sure anybody who wants a mask, they're there, they're free, and you can get one. But doesn't mean that everybody has to wear one. The people, we all got to be personally responsible for who we are and what our actions are. We know what our health conditions are. We got to act accordingly.
Well, one of the things seems to have happened here where more people are concentrated is where we've had the higher numbers in Nashville and Davidson County being two of those. And both of those are places, and especially Davidson County right now, where they need all the help they can get as far as business and sales tax revenue. and they are the ones that's had to be cut back the most.
That's exactly right. No, so far, as of yesterday, we had 14,096 cases that are here in Tennessee. We've had 237 deaths. But if we look at where the most concentration is, in Shelby County and Davidson County, that almost counts for half of the entire sickness in the entire state. Davidson County has 3,140, and Shelby County has over 3,000 as well. So, when we're looking at those two counties as well, that is where the biggest concentration is, and they are going through a little different scenario than what the rural counties are. And now in here in Wilson County, we've got 287 people that have this, but it is not near the crisis that it is in in Davidson County, and that's why Davidson County is still shut down a little bit more. But they are opening up.
Well, no doubt you are staying on this, and you've got your contacts. I mean, even an audience with the governor, at least a telephone call with him from time to time. So I think you've really gone out of your way to make sure you're up to date and have all the facts and bring them to us each Friday. We appreciate that. What else are you doing in your spare time?
Sure. So getting back, we're discussing what we should do for bills this year as far as finishing up. And there's we got the House and the Senate. The House wants to hear all the bills that are in committees and work their way through and make decisions on whether we should pass them or not. The Senate's saying, you know what, maybe we shouldn't hear everything. Let's just make this session a little bit shorter. If it's not budget related, we should focus on what budget requests are out there, what we really need to do, and not worry about every single bill that's been filed, and just put some into next year, and we'll see what we need to do there. So I think we're going to be working both the House and the Senate leadership are trying to work together to come up with what we're going to be looking like in June when we go back into session. That's just a couple weeks away. So we're trying to get our bills in order and get back to where we were.
You think there'll be some kind of compromise there, or will it be all one way or all the other?
I think it'll be a little bit of compromise, because I don't think, it's almost like our ship or Tennessee, if we hit an iceberg, we don't need to be worried, and there's fires, going on in the engine room. We don't need to be worrying about cleaning the silverware. Not that it's not important, but, I think that we need to focus on what is really important in Tennessee, and that is getting our money right, getting people back to work, getting this, and that's where our focus should be. Not that the other bills, even I've filed bills, it's not that they're not important, but we have to prioritize and put the state resources as much as we possibly can to where it needs to be, and that's what I want to focus on.
Well, I think it stands to reason if we can get people back to work, there's less unemployment we've got to dip into. There.
Yes.
And I know you're very concerned about that.
That's exactly right. And then one other thing I am working on is July 11th. I'm inviting all the U.S. Senate candidates into kind of a debate. It's going to be a statewide deal. And in fact, I tried to get it for here at the Expo Center. We know we were going to be having hundreds of people coming in. At the Expo Center, it had already been booked here. So, I said, okay, we got to look somewhere else. We were looking in Nashville. And some of the hotels that were way out of my price range, because normally to rent some of the places in Nashville would be $10,000, $12,000. And we started calling, and they're giving us to like $3,000 or $4,000. Some of them are a third of the price of what they normally charge. So July 11th, I've actually done something and rented the Maxwell House Hotel. And I'm getting all the U.S. candidates that want to come and debate. That's right before early voting, so we can hear what they're going to be talking about. And I talked to the governor. I said, we're going to be having hundreds of people there. Are we going to be open? Is the state going to be open? And is Davidson County going to be open for us to have that many people? And at this point, they're believing it is. So even getting us back together in July for big events, it looks like it's on par. But he said, we won't know for sure. And this was me talking to the governor directly. He said, because I'm paying this money. And he said, I can't guarantee it. If the numbers go the other way, we won't open those up for those kind of events. But we're hoping to get sporting events kind of looking that they can go. We're trying to get the state back to normal as quickly as we possibly can. But even if it was opened up today, we are going to be hurting in our finances for a long time. We're just not going to recover in a month or two.
All right, we've come to the end of our time here. Thanks for being with us. See you next Friday.
Absolutely, Coleman. Right. Thank you.
That is Senator Mark Pody, and that is our Friday Senate report. We've got part 2 coming up. We hope you'll stay with us right here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota and Rental. They have a large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic really start to pick up in the last 10, 15 minutes out here through Mount Juliet. Coming in from Wilson County into Hermitage there on 40 westbound is a wrap-up an accident at Lafayette Street and McCann. Also 1600 block at Church Street in Midtown. 2 cars have tangled up at that location. Finishing up that wreck from earlier 40 East there at the 24 interchange before you get over to Fessler's. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. Check them out online, princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
In times of crisis, and especially when you're isolated, it helps to know someone has your best interest at heart. At Wilson Bank and Trust, standing strong for others has always been one of our most important roles, and we're still here for you now. Through these days of disruption and distancing, you can count on us to keep you connected with your financial services, and will continue to provide financial relief for households and businesses. Thanks for supporting our ongoing commitment to service. Working together, we'll weather this storm too. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With churches not being able to gather, we wanted to make sure our audience is aware of our regular Sunday morning programming. We call it God's Country. Starting at 7 o'clock, it's Southern Gospel and positive country music. From 7:30 to 8, it's The Gospel Show, hosted by Miss Dean. 8 o'clock, it's College Hills Church with Minister Wilson McCoy. At 8:30 to 9, it's Word of God broadcast by Ronnie Briley. From 9 to 9:30, Hillcrest Baptist Church with Pastor John Ferguson. From 9:30 to 10:30, it's Call on God Today, hosted by Brother Kenneth Bowen. At 10:30, it's another message from College Hills Church. From 11 to 11:30, Maple Hill Church with Minister Rob Long. And from 11:30 to noon, it's Southern Gospel and positive country music. Join us each Sunday on WANT or WCOR or online at WANTFM.com.
Rain showers are in the forecast today with a few rumbles of thunder possible as well. Highs this afternoon will top out in the low 60s. For your Saturday, temperatures will be on the cool side with highs only climbing into the low 60s with sunny skies. Temperatures do warm back up to around 70 degrees by Sunday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It's a Friday morning. We always look forward to Fridays for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is being able to have members of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. We just got one with us today, but Medina's going to do a great job. Medina Hemmetoller, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's
Rainy?
kind of rainy and drizzly, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, it's not typical May weather, but it's going to get better.
It's going to get better. It's going to get better because you're not going to make a move without us. So.
Oh, you're right. Well, of course, Sunday's Mother's Day. We don't want to forget that.
That's right.
And, say Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And I may be stealing some of your thunder here, but let me tell you again, the C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, located at West Main Street, been there for a long time. Wonderful people with the same great service they've offered through the years. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. They're people you can trust, and you don't want to make a move without them.
That's right. That's right.
What you got for us?
Well, we just want to remember all the mothers this week, and I know it has snuck up on us this year.
Yeah.
Whenever I was been showing houses this week, I would mention Mother's Day, and you could tell the sons and the dads just kind of froze. What? What?
This soon?
This soon? Exactly. And then it's like their mind shifted. It's like, oh, what am I going to do? But yes, so that would be a great Mother's Day gift, is to put an offer on a house here in Wilson County, either moving across town or moving down the street or moving from another state to Lebanon. That would be wonderful. But we've got two houses I want to talk about. One of them is going to go active this afternoon, and it's a townhouse condo in Stonebridge. And it is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's a little over 1,700 square feet. It is ready to go. They're having to move back with family to another state. So it is ready to go, but it is 819 Meadowcrest Way, and it's at $244,900 is the list price. Right now, that's the only one for sale on Meadowcrest Way. There's usually some always popping up and everything, but this one, it won't last long because of the price point and because how pretty it is, and it's a townhouse condo where they take care of that landscaping, they take care of the outside, they take care of everything. All you got to do is take care of the inside. So that's pretty nice.
Live there and enjoy your leisure time.
Exactly, exactly. And there's a mixture of older people, younger people, single people. It doesn't matter. So $244,900 is that one in Stonebridge. And then we have another one in 131 Springfield Drive. It's Farmington Woods subdivision off of Carver Lane, off of Maple Hill and Carver Lane. But it is an executive 2-floor house with all brick, covered back porch. It has the master downstairs. There's also could be a master suite or a teenage suite upstairs. So there's a master down, 3 bedrooms up, and one of those areas it's a bonus room, but it is set up to where it could be a bedroom living area because you take 2 steps down and you have either a walk-in closet or a TV room, and then make the bonus room your living area, and then you have a master suite. So you could shut the door and let your teenager have their own space, or a second master.
Sound like a lot of opportunities depending on what you want to make out of it.
Yeah. Yes. And it's wonderful hardwood floors. The master is beautiful. And it's a private backyard. Of course, it's in a subdivision, but it's a private backyard with a covered porch.
Yeah.
So it's an executive home. It is move-in ready. You don't have to do anything but move your belongings in there. So it's freshly painted. They've well maintained the house over the years. So it is listed at $489,900. So we would love to show that house or any house. It doesn't matter if our sign is in the yard or not. We would love to help you find your house or help you sell your house and be a great present for Mother's Day.
All right. Well, you definitely are staying busy. And,
Yes.
And maybe with restrictions being lightened a little bit, it makes it even more conducive for what you're doing.
Yes, and we're still showing houses. I mean, we show, at first, whenever all this started, we were continuing to show houses because we were deemed essential, and we would mainly show empty houses.
Yeah.
And now it's lightened up a little bit, and so now we just put on our gear to go show a house, whether it be shoe booties, the mask, the gloves, and some of them just want the agents just to touch the doorknobs and the light switches, and nobody else touches anything, and we have our gloves on. So it's very easy still to show. It's just it takes a little bit more time when you get out of your car. You gotta suit up, you know.
Yeah, but that's not too bad.
No, that's not
Really,
too bad.
You cover your feet, then you're okay there, and you got gloves on.
That's right.
And then your mask.
Then your mask.
So that's about it. 3 things. Really?
That's mainly it.
Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of people, the agents just tell their clients, don't touch anything. And a lot of homeowners will leave their lights turned on. That way, the agent don't even have to turn on the lights.
Oh.
All we do is open the door and close the door. And we just leave the lights as they are.
Well, no doubt you're wanting to please the homeowner
Yes.
as well as your possible buyer.
Yes.
And I think everybody understands, and I bet you hadn't had any problems at all.
No. Not at all. We've just been trucking right along. And, a lot of people are still they're still looking at homes online, and they'd rather do that instead, and that's fine. That's what it's there for. And then other ones still want to walk through the houses and stuff. So, we're there to do whatever, but we're going to be equipped for the situation.
Well, we mentioned your phone number, and somebody always answering that where you don't have to punch 1 for English and all the
That's
other
right,
rigmarole.
no.
Just call
right.
615-443-3130 and talk to a human being. And if you need Medina, they'll get her right to you.
That's right. And me or Judy will give you a call right back. And we're always working, no matter what time it is. We might sleep a little bit, but we're always working in our mind anyway.
You're on the job. Well, how's Mike doing?
He's doing good. He's always keeping us straight.
Right. Well, I haven't seen him in a week or 2, but I thought I'd ask about him. But he's still in the picture.
Oh, yeah. He ain't going nowhere. What do you mean? No.
All right. Well, that do it today.
That'll do it. And
All
just
right.
tell everybody Happy Mother's Day.
And
don't make a move without us.
All right, Medina, thank you very much. We appreciate it. That's Medina Hemantola with C&D. She's part of the C&D team at Exit Rocky Top Realty there on West Main Street. We are 20 minutes before the hour. We're going to talk a little baseball this morning. I had a call from Rick Smith a few days ago. I don't know exactly when it was, but sometime. Right. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you, and you wanted to get out here and just talk about what's going on, and I think that's a good idea. You brought with you this morning William Porter from the city, who takes care of all the ballparks, and most people who've been around here know William Porter, and I think most people know John Pope, too. We sometimes know him as Pope John, but John, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And William, good morning to you.
Coleman.
We're glad to have all 3 of you here, and I don't know what's going on. Hopefully we're going to find out. But I mentioned, William, you are in charge of a lot of recreation. I guess you're recreation director for the city of Lebanon, but that means the ball fields are under your watch care, and you've got a lot of them. But John, you've been in charge of youth baseball here for a while, and Rick, I'm not sure exactly where you fit in, but you're part of it too.
Right, yeah.
Well, what is it?
Well, when we formed Lebanon Youth Baseball, it come from both Kiwanis and Rotary.
All right.
I was the Kiwanis side, John was the Rotary side. We joined together. So we're now working together as Lebanon Youth Baseball, and that's where I come in at.
Well, are y'all kind of co-coordinators, or?
Yeah, there's actually 7 of us.
There's 7 of us.
Okay. Well, 2 of you are here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where are we right now? I guess we start with you, John.
Well, I tell you what, I think what we should kind of start in chronological order, I think, maybe, and let Porter talk, because here's the thing. Obviously, Middle Tennessee's had a lot on them with the tornadoes first, and then now the pandemic.
Middle Tennessee Electric.
Well, Middle Tennessee
in general.
Well, now they've had a lot on them, too.
Yes, they have, and done a good job.
Okay.
But we took a direct hit, the ballpark did, from the tornado, and so that's been something that's Porter and his group have been working with the insurance companies and things. So I'll kind of let him talk about that.
Okay. Bring us up to date.
Yeah, we took a pretty good hit. Came through the Southside Church area, took out field 9, press box, dugout, backstop, field 8, the roofs off of press boxes and the roof off of field 7, and then just kind of took that path straight on through and took the tennis court fences down and light poles and straight to girls softball, and it was pretty much obliterate. All 3 fields there were tore up real significantly. We lost probably 5 scoreboards, 11 sets of bleachers just mangled up in just like a tin can, just rolled them up like a Tootsie Roll and threw them all over the place. And a lot of backstops down, so a lot of fencing down. When the structural engineers came and did some, they said we had 52 light poles that had some kind of structural damage.
Wow.
So I think by the time we get done with the COVID, we'll have most of the dugouts and the fencing and the scoreboards and that type of stuff ready to go. But we could be putting lights up in October.
Oh.
Who knows? Because you've got their structural engineer and now the insurance is structural engineers, so they're debating on some of the poles, and the lead time on those is usually 10 to 12 weeks just in a good economy, not when you're in a pandemic. So once we get those ordered, they could be 15 weeks before we even get the poles here to put up. So
well, how bad is that going to affect the lighting?
Oh, there won't be. When we play ball this summer, it'll be daytime.
It'll be daytime ball.
It'll be daytime ball.
All right, we'll get to that then. What about you? You got two big, larger baseball fields, the Babe Ruth Park, and then what is the
Veterans Field?
Yeah. What about those?
Every field I have has some poles that took structural damage.
Okay.
And now Veterans Field had a little damage on the fence, took down a little portion of the outfield fence, and the batting cage that was on that field it's obliterated, so it took some damage. But that's stuff we would get fixed. It'll be fixed by June. But the light poles are a whole different. Okay. They're just a different story.
So the lighting is really the big problem. The other can be fixed by the time we're ready to play.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well that takes us time for a break here, but let's do that here and reintroduce the trio who are here to talk baseball this morning when we come back. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And to 744, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and get $50 off, $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. Give yourself extra travel time out here just to play it safe. Traffic still moving through Mount Juliet right now on I-40 westbound. Latest rank's going to be in Jolton on 24 westbound near Whites Creek Pike exit. Traffic is the heaviest coming eastbound, obviously. All that traffic flow coming in from Clarksville, 1600 block at Church Street. Still working that accident. Not bad out of Dixon County right now on I-40 east as you come past 840. Hey, Dr. Byron Bush, the only Republican candidate for U.S. Senate with a proven record for fighting for conservative values and against corruption. Log on today, bushforsenate.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
During this pandemic, people have cleaned out their closets, decluttered their homes, and improved their landscaping.
Well, now since your home is looking good, maybe you should think about selling it, but you don't have a clue what you might could get for it.
You can call us to come out and give you a market value price with no obligation.
Remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medana Himmentoler at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
Since they retired, one couple has ridden every wooden roller coaster in America. What are your goals for the future? Your Waypoint financial professional can help you develop a financial plan to get there. Waypoint, your future, your way. Call your Waypoint financial professionals, Bill Bryson, David Gordon, Tracy Hay, and Tony Helton at 615-444-6548 or log on to axaonline.com. Financial planning services provided by AXA Advisors, LLC. Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here for a Friday morning, but we're glad to have William Porter from the City of Lebanon. He's in charge of the recreation and our ballparks, and that's what we're talking about. We've got Rick Smith and John Pope here as well. So William, to recap, you've got a lot done, a lot more to be done. You'll have the parks ready to play when you can play, except for the lighting, and we're going to get to when we're going to play here, and that may not be a problem. Okay,
right.
We're glad to have all of you, but Rick and John, it's your turn. And any idea of when?
Well, it's like we've talked. We had a board meeting the other day, and there's 7 of us on the board, and we're going to play when we're allowed to play, and we can follow the guidelines. It's pretty simple. We don't have the sports and the recreation guidelines right now are pretty strict as far as when we can start. So we're just waiting to see what happens. I mean, it may change tomorrow. It may not. It may get worse. It may get better.
Well, have you normally you have tryouts, you have teams selected. You've already you've been playing by now, but what's happened in that regard?
Well, luckily we were finished with all that. All the teams were drafted and assembled, and all the teams have begun practice in our indoor facility and on the fields. And then, of course, the tornado hit, then spring break hit, and then the pandemic hit. And so, but that's a good thing that we luckily had all the teams assembled and had begun meeting and practicing. And so we've kind of looked at it from day one as, when we will resume the current season. Now, obviously, here we are, May 8th. The resuming of the season will more look like a new type of season, but with the existing teams that are in place. And we're aware that there may be some players and maybe even coaches that can't come back depending on the time frame that we are able to play this year.
Well, what we already established that the lighting is not going to be up to par, so you're going to be playing daytime, I understand.
We'll probably be looking at, obviously in the summer, and that's, I'll mention this, I'm going to give Porter a lot of credit here. When that tornado hit, and that day of the board, Rick and I were out there, and Fred Dawson and several other board members, we were out there that next morning. And Porter looks at me and he says, I think we're going to be playing baseball when God intended baseball to be played, which is in the summer months. And I've said that to a lot of people, and they all get it, because that's when we all used to play baseball.
Right.
And not in February and March.
Yeah.
And so I think he was dead on that, that's hopefully what's going to happen. But so that's, luckily everything was in place. We can kind of pick up and hopefully move forward. Like Rick said, when we get the green light from state and local officials.
Well, what will you be playing during the week? We play most on the weekend, or how do you anticipate that?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, that's what I was about to say. With the summer months, luckily we have daylight pretty late, so we can have a 6 o'clock game easily. If we start a little earlier, we could still get 2 games in a night, and I think we could probably pull that off. And then our league historically has been, we don't play on Saturdays because we reserve that for practice. We want development to occur, and so we leave Saturdays for teams to practice. This year we may not have that luxury. We may have to play on Saturdays, and we would get every team a game on Saturday. So we're looking at that. I think that's a very real possibility. That's what we'll have to do.
Well, one thing I guess parents especially and relatives, people who follow their children, and I guess we're mostly talking about boys here with baseball, but how's that going to be? That's yet to be determined.
Yeah, that's to be determined. I mean, we can't have baseball without the parents there. That's not going to happen. I can't see the parents dropping their 8-year-old kid off and saying bye.
Now, sometimes
and then that'd be a perfect world.
Yeah, that would be kind of nice at times, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen.
I have kind of been on both sides, and I've especially been a parent, and I know what it's like when that umpire makes the bad call on your child.
A bad call in your opinion.
No, it's a bad call. Okay, I know you've got sponsors, you've got some.
We've got some incredible sponsors, and people got to realize that our sponsors are what keeps us alive. We play ball for free. We don't charge, the kids don't pay a dime to play ball with 11 Youth Baseball. Never have, never will. That's been our motto from the get-go. Yeah. And this is our 66 years now we've been playing ball in Lebanon. And we never charge the kids. And that's not going to happen. Our sponsors is what keeps us alive. And we've got some incredible sponsors. We've already had a bunch of them already paid. We're going to play ball. We're going to use their company names on our uniforms. We will do everything we can to make sure that they're well represented and how much we appreciate them.
Well, right now we're just kind of in a wait and see.
We're in limbo.
Waiting for, I guess, really comes from the governor's office.
we've been in contact with Senator Pody's office. It was just here. We've been in contact with State Rep Clark Boyd. He actually served as a coach several years ago in our league, so they've been great to give us information. Of course, Mayor Ash, Mayor Hutto, of course William Porter. I mean, we've had a lot of dialogue over the last 2 months, and we've increased that discussion obviously now as things are reopening around the state. Obviously youth sports, youth baseball, a little different animal than normal business. So we're having to look at things. And then, of course, we have our national sanctions. Little League and Dixie Youth are the two sanctions that we run in our park, and we were getting guidance from them as well. Last week, Little League canceled their World Series, which was a big decision. Lots of money behind that decision, too, as far as, canceling that. But they made that decision. Dixie Youth has done the same.
Well, now, does this mean there won't be tournaments following the season?
There won't, not on a national level.
Yeah, national level. We may still have local tournaments. That's to be determined also. Once again, we don't really have any guidelines for that area yet, and how we would do it, and if we're allowed, if the sanctions that we run under, Little League and Dixie Youth, will allow us to do that. So once again, it's kind of a flux area.
Well, the ages we're talking about here are what, through 12?
6 to 12.
Okay, and Babe Ruth was not going to have a league this year anyway. Maybe
they've dropped out. Yeah,
they picked a good time to quit. I guess
They were prophets.
There's a lot involved in that, and travel ball has a lot to do with it. But as far as the park goes, William, you've got the Little League, you've got the Babe Ruth Field, Veterans Field, but there's a lot of softball. And what about that? Now, we're mainly talking baseball this morning.
That's okay.
The Lebanon girls softball, Wayne Oakley,
Yeah.
is I talk to him regularly, at least once or twice a week.
Not
And-
once or twice a day.
Yeah, well, sometimes it is once or twice a day, but
Wayne's a good guy. I love
yeah,
him.
I like Wayne. Wayne's a friend of mine. We went to school together and go to church together. But so they're just like softball here. They've already drafted. Like baseball, they'd already drafted their teams, so they had their teams set also, and had to were beginning to start practicing when everything hit. So they've got their teams, and they had even before the pandemic hit, because tornado damage wise, they were going to be a lot further getting ready than everybody else because their fields got hit worse than the baseballs. When it first hit, we really thought we were going to have two baseball fields that didn't have any damage, but then when they came in, they found some poles.
Yeah.
So we really thought we had two baseball fields that we could play on, as soon as we were ready to go. And then the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. So they had been looking at playing at other places. But now with the pandemic, I think we'll have their fields ready to go by the time the COVID's over, except for lights, just like them. So they're looking at playing, in the daytime, and they're getting schedules together to try to do the same thing that
Well,
baseball's
it sounds like the games are going to be over and everybody gone by dark.
Yeah, at the present time, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not sundown till after 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. 8:30 before it really gets dark.
June, most of June and early July. So I guess 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after the 21st of June is kind of when you get the most sunlight there. But it'll be close to that maybe time you get started.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Little League and Dixie Youth both kind of sent out the messages that they were canceling the World Series and that there may not be postseason unless unless the individual states or local districts wanted to run something postseason. And to be honest with you, Coleman, we look at that and they put in their correspondence. They said, hey, let's focus on what's the most important, which is kids hitting the baseball field and getting play in and developing, continue to develop. They hate that postseason play has been canceled on a national level because a lot of kids were looking forward to that. But you know what? We're gonna find a way, hopefully, to get the kids back on the field and make something happen.
Got 2.5 minutes. Anything else that you want to tell us, Rick?
No, once again, we just want to thank our sponsors. That's such a huge part of our program.
Do you need any more?
Yeah, we can always use sponsors. Yes, that's like asking the government if they need more money.
You still have outfield signs that you.
We still have outfield signs we use. Yes,
and outfield signs. That's mostly it.
Some of them blew to Knoxville. But we've replaced them.
Yeah, okay, good.
But yeah, we have a waiting list on sponsors for teams, but we can always add to the waiting list. That's not a problem. I mean, people will drop out, and who knows what's going to happen after all this. But sponsors are what drives us, what keeps us going. We want to thank, once again, 65 years plus playing baseball. We've never missed a season. God willing, we won't miss this one.
And, we've had some, especially in recent years, we've had some teams that have really done well. The All-Star teams have represented Lebanon extremely well.
We really have. We're at the 11 and 12 age. We're 4 years in a row state champs. That will stop this year. 4 out of the last 5. So that obviously ends our reign.
But nobody else is going to be state champion.
Yeah,
that's true.
But in 1 year we had the two final teams in the state championship were our teams.
Yeah. Well, that I think that speaks well for the caliber of play and probably for the coaching that we have too. William?
Yeah, I would like to just say thanks to my staff. They've showed up and worked every day through this pandemic, and they've kept everything up and going, and we're getting some things done that we normally might not have time to do when the weather's right. So I just want to give a shout out to them for their hard work and thank them for all that they do.
All right. Well, the word is there's going to be baseball this year. We're just you're ready to go whenever the powers that be allow, and it'll probably be over by a little after sundown because of the light situation. But other than that, we're going to play baseball whenever it's permitted.
Yeah, whenever.
So that's the gist of what we're saying this morning. And again, thanks to all the sponsors, and you're going to get your money's worth. We hope. Going to try your best. William Porter, Rick Smith, John Pope. Thank y'all for being with us. Enjoy this.
Thank you.
That's going to do it. Have a happy Mother's Day, all of you mothers out there. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.